This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. The University of Florida is preparing for potential protests tomorrow in response to a speech by white nationalist Richard Spencer.
That's right. That speech will be tomorrow afternoon, and local officials are so concerned, Florida Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency, activating the National Guard. ABC7's Christopher Brantley spoke to some local UF grads and joins us with more. Christopher?
And good evening to you. We've spoken to several UF grads today who told us they don't support what Richard Spencer is likely to say tomorrow, but the First Amendment does apply. He could say whatever he'd like.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
White nationalist Richard Spencer will be taking the stage at the University of Florida's Phillips Center.
You know, one thing about the First Amendment, I think, is there's sort of a bit of confusion about it, is everybody has the right to say what they want to say.
Sarasota attorney Morgan Bentley is a UF graduate. He's against Richard Spencer speaking Thursday, but he explains the First Amendment of the Constitution is clear.
The government isn't allowed to muzzle you. That said, it doesn't mean that if you say things that have consequences, you're excused from the consequences.
Spencer is the president of the National Policy Institute, a white supremacist think tank.
I'm trying to normalize racism, as you call it. Absolutely, I'm trying to normalize my ideas, our ideas of the alt-right.
Bentley believes Spencer has the right to speak, just as much as the protesters have a right to protest, as long as it's peaceful.
And really just the idea of protesting at all is a good thing, is the idea of making people get up and take a stand against something or for something or whatever it is they want to do, because that's sort of the whole idea of participatory democracy.
Those protesters are expected to be in full force.
We are prepared. We're going to ensure that you are afforded your constitutional rights, but that it's done in a safe and secure manner.
Local church leaders are advising folks to stay home.
If you physically show up, what you don't realize you're doing is you are becoming the puppet. You are a side character, and the playwright is Richard Spencer.
All of that being said, Morgan Bentley does feel this whole thing is a misallocation of money on the part of the University of Florida.
When I heard about this, the first thing that came to my mind, putting aside the First Amendment issues, was why? I mean, this is not a, Richard Spencer is not the kind of name that you would spend the amount of money that they're about to spend on security and everything else. I mean, you could get Bill Clinton for that amount of money.
And we did ask our followers on Facebook how they feel, and many responded. 80 said they were against, 35 said they were for the event. And of course, we will have continued coverage as it unfolds tomorrow from Gainesville. Scott?
All right, Christopher, thank you so much. In the aftermath of Hurricane Irma, 14 nursing home residents lost their lives. Now, state lawmakers are taking aggressive action to try to ensure it doesn't happen again. Just days after Irma and the first deaths were reported at the Hollywood Hills nursing home, Governor Rick Scott issued an emergency mandate giving assisted living facilities and nursing homes 60 days to get generators and fuel that would allow facilities to operate for at least 96 hours after a storm. After that came bill after bill dealing with power restoration and backup generators, all slated for review in the 2018 legislative session.
We saw something, a terrible tragedy occur during Hurricane Irma with the deaths of now 14 people at the nursing home down in Broward County. And there was some finger pointing afterwards about why that occurred. And the constant, though, is that there was no power to that facility for several days after the hurricane.
Coming up tonight on ABC7 News at 7, we'll take an in-depth look at what bills are on the table. Also, hear what employees at local assisted living facility think about these new mandates.
On the heels of outrage over the president accusing his predecessors of not calling the families of fallen soldiers, he's now back in the hot seat over what allegedly happened during one of the calls he did make. Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson claims she heard the conversation on speakerphone between President Trump and the grieving widow of Special Forces soldier Sergeant LaDavid Johnson. She says the president said, quote, he knew what he signed up for, but when it happens, it hurts anyway. Wilson called the comment insensitive, but the president denies Wilson's account of that call.
Didn't say what that congresswoman said, didn't say it at all. She knows it, and she now is not saying it. I did not say what she said, and I'd like her to make the statement again, because I did not say what she said.
Wilson is standing by her statement, and Sergeant Johnson's mother is now backing her, telling the Washington Post, quote, "President Trump did disrespect my son and my daughter, and also me and my husband." Sergeant Johnson, along with 3 other Green Berets, were killed during an ISIS raid in Niger.
The latest version of President Trump's travel ban is facing some same difficulties as its predecessors. 2 federal judges have now blocked a 3rd version of that ban, most recently in Maryland. A U.S. district judge issued a preliminary injunction finding that the ban is still tainted by religious discrimination. The new restrictions were set to take effect today, covering 8 countries: Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, Somalia, and Yemen. The judge saying Trump's positive statements about Islam did not in any way, quote, repudiate the president's prior intention to impose a Muslim ban.
When I was walking around outside today, it was definitely hot, but that breeze felt a little nice.
Yeah, I thought this morning was delightful outside. Yeah, you could sort of just taste what's coming. But we've got to wait a few more days. Here's Bob Harrigan with much more.
Yeah, it was a little nicer out there this morning. Some lower humidity around, but still temperatures in the low 70s for lows. That's well above the average in the mid to upper 60s. Really, we're expecting and anticipating those to come back into play come Wednesday morning of next week. But temperatures will still be well above average, it looks like, right through much of this work week. KCK webcam showing calm conditions near the shoreline here, but offshore seas are a little high and small craft advisories have been flying all day long as a result of those strong easterly breezes coming in around the area of high pressure moving off the Carolinas now. You can see that light rain falling in places along the east coast mainly. We've had a few brief showers here, not a lot of accumulation. You can see that one lone shower located near Siesta Key, and then a few showers north of Wauchula really and pushing off to the southwest, but they're moving pretty quickly, so don't expect a lot of accumulation. It just may make the road a little wet at times there near Siesta Key, and 84 degrees now in Sarasota, Venice, and Inglewood, 84 in Northport. The Gulf water temperature now at 82 in Sebring, now at 78 degrees. Currently, we do have partly cloudy skies and 84 at the Sarasota Braden Airport. More on your weather forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to a developing story in Maryland. Police are searching for a gunman accused in a deadly workplace shooting about 45 minutes outside of Baltimore.
Police say a man opened fire, shooting 5 people, killing 3 of them, and then drove to Wilmington, Delaware, where he's now wanted in connection to a second shooting. ABC's Janae Norman tells us what investigators have to say about the motive.
A horrifying morning outside Baltimore, Maryland.
Honestly, I was terrified.
We have multiple witnesses saying there's a shooter at Granite Place.
Police and first responders swarmed Advanced Granite Solutions, investigating reports of an active shooter and multiple victims.
I have a 40-ish-year-old male with a gunshot to the head. He is awake and is fine.
I was behind the building there, and 3 Spanish guys came out and said, "Call 911, there's a shooter."
Do you believe they were working in that business?
Oh, yeah. I think they were right there when it happened. I could tell. One guy was crying, and might have been their friends, or I think it was their co-workers.
Try Rady, R-A-D-E-E. He's an employee.
Investigators on the scene say Roddy L. Prince, a 37-year-old man with a criminal history who worked at the business, shot 5 of his co-workers, killing 3 of them and leaving the other 2 in critical condition. They believe he then drove to Wilmington, Delaware, where he's suspected in a second shooting.
This wasn't a random act of violence where the person went out indiscriminately and was shooting people up. So I want to get that clear.
Law enforcement still working to find him. Believe he's driving a black 2008 GMC Acadia SUV with Delaware tags, and they say he's considered armed and dangerous.
He's an armed killer out there, so certainly he is a danger to anyone he encounters.
The ATF and FBI are helping local law enforcement officials in the search for Roddy L. Prince. And the FBI has requested Prince's face go up on billboards up and down the I-95 corridor from Philadelphia to D.C. all the way to Atlantic City to help track him down. Janae Norman, ABC News, Edgewood, Maryland.
An update now on the violent removal of a United Airlines passenger back in April. 2 officers involved in that incident have now been fired, while 2 others are suspended. Chicago aviation officials say the incident was improperly escalated. They also say facts about the investigation were deliberately removed from an employee report. Now, this is cell phone video of the moments leading up to that incident. It shows Dr. David Dow being dragged by officers after he refused to give up his seat on the packed flight. Officials say he lost 2 teeth, had a broken nose, and suffered a concussion. United Airlines eventually reached a settlement with that passenger.
Now to a big opportunity for college-bound students in Florida. The open enrollment period for Florida's prepaid college tuition program begins this week. Prices on most plans are up slightly from last year. There are several options available, including 2- and 4-year plans to cover state colleges or hybrid plans for 2 years at a state college and 2 more at a university. The cost of the most expensive plan, which is a 4-year university plan, remains unchanged at $187 a month. Open enrollment runs through February 28th.
Well, it's hard to believe, but the holidays are right around the corner. Starting now through mid-November, Northport families that need a little extra help can sign up for the annual Home for the Holidays program. Families that qualify can be adopted and then shop for donated toys on designated days. Now, to qualify, you must receive public assistance or prove that you're experiencing a financial hardship through the holidays. You must also be a Northport resident. For more information, you can visit the city's website. And I love programs like that, especially programs like the Angel Tree as well.
They work and they help a lot of people for sure. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a landmark milestone for the financial markets.
What record-setting gains in the Dow Jones Industrial Average mean for you at home.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
I dropped it on the floor, and he stepped on it.
No matter how you broke your smartphone, there's only one smart way to fix it. Batteries plus bulbs. Schedule your repair at batteriesplus.com.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye. And over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109.
I'm Alan Cohn. 14 dead at a Florida nursing home. After Hurricane Irma, what's the reaction to the governor's order that nursing homes must have generators?
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Record-setting gains in the Dow Jones Industrial Average are energizing Wall Street. But what's causing this bull run, and what does it mean for you? ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest from the New York Stock Exchange.
a landmark milestone for the financial markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average topping 23,000 for the first time.
These are big numbers. Overall, the market's having its best year since 2013, and the overall environment is probably about as good as it's been since that 2006 period.
These types of gains are a huge stamp of approval on the U.S. economy, and experts say even if you aren't invested in the market, it could help you out by lowering interest rates on things like credit cards and student loans.
A lot of folks would say right now the economy is in a sweet spot. One person called it as good as it gets right now for the U.S. consumer.
President Trump has been quick to tweet about these record gains.
I think 26 all-time records since the presidential election. So, I mean, it's just, this market is so strong.
The market has been increasing since the Obama administration and has continued surging under President Trump.
I think the clarity of having the election over was really a big relief to a lot of people. I do think it's fair to say that his election catalyzed something in the U.S. consumer.
Congress taking up tax reform and a rebound in global economic growth are also fueling this recent surge. With all of this good news, there is a warning. Some experts caution that the higher the markets go, the more overdue we could be for it to pull back. Outside the stock exchange, Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
I was out in the water today, right there on Lubbock Key. This one on Casey Key. Nice sunny skies throughout most of the day, a strong east wind, but that doesn't mean a whole lot right near the beaches because that east wind is kind of blocked by the trees and the homes and the beaches there. But offshore, the winds and seas were much higher, and small craft advisories remain in effect for our coastal waters. And that's a result of a large area of high pressure to the north of us and that little front down to our south. Now you can see light rain showers occurring, heavier along the east coast, but not much going on here. Things are all fairly quiet and should stay that way. If you have an evening bike ride or a tennis match, should not be a big problem. You may see a brief shower, if anything at all. 75, we're expecting the temperature to be at 11 o'clock. Under clear skies, temperatures will stay unseasonably warm again tonight. 84 degrees, the dew point 68. What was nice this morning, we had that nice east wind, which is a little drier too, and that made things comfortable out there. The barometer 30.02, which is high, continues to rise ever so slightly. The high today, well, there it is, 88 degrees, 93. The record set in 1989. Our normal high at 85, our normal low at 67. Both those numbers running well above that, and it looks like it'll stay that way too throughout this work week. Now we will start to see some slightly cooler air move in late Sunday, but more so by Wednesday. You'll notice a big difference, and no rainfall report today. For the year now, we're at 61.43. Now the hourly forecast looks like this tomorrow. We'll see generally sunny skies, a few clouds around, maybe a little increase in cloudiness late in the afternoon, and temperatures warming into the upper 80s once again. Now mid-80s near the beaches, but upper 80s well inland, and that east wind will continue to be a bit breezy out there out of the east, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. This is a futurecast, one particular model indicating a heavier storm, so this was initialized a little bit too strong as far as that rain goes, but they move off to the west, so we can expect a few, as I mentioned, isolated showers possible this evening, most areas staying dry. And then to start the day off tomorrow, looks good, lots of sunshine out there. And then a few spotty showers once again in the afternoon. So we're going to be stuck in this pattern, it appears, right through Friday, although maybe a few more isolated showers on Friday afternoon, but should not be a problem for football Friday night. It doesn't appear that we're going to have much of a rain, and with the strong easterly wind, even if the showers do develop, they won't stick around very long. And the extended forecast is calling for better chances for rain, though, as we head into the latter half of the weekend. Well, that frontal boundary is still hanging out, but for the most part fading away. The Caribbean, beautiful weather down there for a cruise. From Jamaica to Cuba to Haiti, and Dominican Republic looking good right now. Looking all the way over to Puerto Rico, still recovering there. A lot of the folks, 3/4 of the people without electricity, if you can believe that, still in Puerto Rico. The Western Caribbean, all is quiet. Now, what we have to look out for is fronts that move down and get all the way down to the Caribbean, and then a little system may pop up once in a while in the Western Caribbean late in the season. And I would not put it past this season at all. It's been an unusual one at that. Well, moisture riding in from the Pacific, helping out with firefighters. Another cold front is on the way, too, with a bigger storm system there. That storm will eventually sweep a stronger cold front our way, and that happens, it looks like, mainly on Monday and Tuesday of next week. You'll see that in the 7-day. Small craft advisory remains in effect tomorrow. Northeast winds at 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, and the UV index will be at 9. The water temperature is slightly cooler. Then the summer is 89, isn't it? Low tide at 7:03, a high tide will be at 12:19, and sunset at 6:58. Isolated showers, breezy tonight, 71 for a low. Tomorrow, Looks good. Another 88-degree day, though. It will be warm. It will be breezy, and the extended forecast calling for that warm weather to continue up until Tuesday. Really, showers and storms could be rather heavy, too, early next week. We'll keep an eye on it for you, but Wednesday looks delightful. 78. Back to you.
To it. Thank you so much, Bob. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. We're seeing some of the usual slowdowns. Now, if you expect to hit the interstate anytime soon, you can expect some delays near the University Parkway exit.
If you drive a Ford pickup made in recent years, you may want to watch out for some problems with your vehicle's doors. The company is recalling more than 1 million F-150 and 2017 Super Duty pickup trucks because of potential problems. Ford says some vehicles may have a frozen door latch or bent or kinked cable that may cause a door not to open or close. If you can open and close the doors, it may appear closed, but the latch may not fully engage. This recall affects 2015 to 2017 models.
Just a reminder, you can stay up to date on the latest Suncoast news and see alerts on traffic and breaking news instantly with the ABC7 News app. If you're an iPhone or iPad user and currently have our news app, you'll need to go to the App Store now and search WWSB or My Suncoast. Then download the new version. If you're an Android user, don't worry, you'll get that new version automatically. Well, stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful.
That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
I heard about the Dottoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dottoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dottoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Celebrate the end of summer with big savings during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers or save big on a new sleek and stylish Jeep Cherokee for as little as $18,999. Drive off today for your next great adventure in a brand new Jeep Renegade for as low as $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
The Irwin family is returning to television's Animal Planet 11 years after the death of the crocodile hunter star Steve Irwin.
The network is announcing that Irwin's widow, Terry, and their children, Bendy and Robert, will work with Animal Planet on TV and digital projects that will begin airing next year. Animal Planet's general manager says a decade after the crocodile hunter went off the air, people still bring up the series in focus groups.
And his kids are just like him, aren't they?
Of course.
British singer Ed Sheeran is announcing the Asian leg of his Divide tour is being postponed. He was recently in a bicycle accident and will not be able to perform live because of a fracture in his right wrist and left elbow. The date of the rescheduled shows will be announced later on. The Grammy Award-winning singer says he's waiting to see how the healing progresses before deciding on future performances.
Well, the multi-platinum, two-time Grammy Award-winning singer Leanne Rimes is coming to the Suncoast. Rimes will kick off her 5th annual Today is Christmas tour at the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall on Sunday, December 3rd. Rimes will be performing a variety of songs, including some of her favorites from all 3 of her holiday albums, and some new renditions of hits including Blue and How Do I Live, as well as songs from her new album, Remnants. And Scott, I definitely will be getting tickets to that. I used to run around the house as a kid singing How Do I Live.
Oh, really?
Yes, one of my fondest memories.
And her version of Blue is
oh, of course.
incredible.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us.